What these stats revealed was the basic fundamental mistakes, these easy concepts that I need to adopt in order to really grow as a tank player. Previous to this review, I had experienced a 5-game loss streak. And then after this review, I experienced a 5-game win streak that only ended because of a loss caused by a lever on my team. Trust me, this one is packed with valuable information, particularly if you are below platinum. Basically, the way that I handle this is I look for a game where I played one hero the whole time. Makes it the easiest to look for hero-specific things you want to change. You can also look for general things, obviously, like positioning, your aggression, whatever the case may be. You can look at more general topics, but I try to look for the specific things that I could do better on my hero, even if those things apply more broadly. So if I'm burning my cooldowns, like on Zarya, which is who we're going to review today, if I'm burning my cooldowns because my positioning is bad, well, I'm going to look at my positioning. I'm not going to be as worried about my bubble usage. I'm going to look at, okay, I used a lot of bubbles there. Why did I do that? Did I actually need them? And if I did actually need them, why did I need them? If I needed them because I took space and now I'm giving space and just kiting back, okay, nothing bad with that. But if I'm using them and I end up dying from it, it's because I overextended and didn't look for my supports. So that's just one specific scenario. I imagine we'll encounter that one quite a bit. But for those of you that are stat nerds like me, I will just put out this disclaimer. I am not one of those stats proves that you did well or did poorly kinds of guys. I'm just not. But they can be a really good indicator to give you something to kind of keep an eye for before you get into your VOD reviews. Let's back out a little bit. I like comparing 10-minute averages versus some of the higher level players. Now, for obvious reasons, we're going to use last season's data because this season, it's too early. We don't have that data yet. By the time this video is out, we might, but when I've recorded it, we don't. I look for Zarya players. So the number one Zarya player right here, it has Zarya in the hero pool, is Private Profile Rep. How about the second one? Yeah, there we go. So now what we can do is we can look at time played, competitive, and then we can look for Zarya, which you would think is somewhere in here. There you go. So you look at a couple different things here. You can look at your average per 10 minutes on eliminations and their deaths, which is 22 and 5. I usually round up on both. 22 and 5. So if we look back at this game, we can look at my elims are low. They are 5 low per 10. If I had had another 5 to 8 eliminations, maybe we would have won that. My deaths, though, were pretty close. So actually, my positioning is probably still a problem. I'm willing to bet it's not that I'm going in too deep. It's that I'm playing too passively, if anything. We'll look at that in a minute. It's been a kind of a vice of mine for a long time, by the way. It's something I'm still trying to figure out why I do that. And it may be something I have to really just focus on in games going forward. Then we look at my average charge on Zarya, which was really low. So we know that the likelihood is high that the reason that I was getting such low eliminations is probably because my average energy was so low. So the average energy was 48%. That means I literally had half the energy. So just comparing apples to apples here, we can tell that my energy was low, which probably means I was using my bubbles poorly. And because I was using my bubbles poorly, I wasn't able to play aggressively. Put all those things together. They're very basic fundamental things. Let's see if we can figure out and see where my mistakes were in that specific area. Now, some people will watch this at 2x speed. I don't typically do that. I like to just watch it as it would have unfolded. So right here, what we're looking for is why I'm not taking space. Well, Zarya is in my face right now, but if already, let's see, how do I go? I forgot how to free cam by hotkey. If I go over here and I'm off angling, got a Mercy there. Where's my other support? Juno here. So if I'm right here, everything is juicy. I got right clicks for days. I got a tracer to poke out. And instead, I'm standing here. So positioning is already not looking great. Let's watch the bubble usage. Okay, that was a good bubble. Bad bubble. Okay, good. Good movement by that Mercy. Okay, bad bubble. So far, I'm bubbling my teammates too early or in poor situations. I also have 0 charge right now. Okay, let's go ahead and just skip forward a little ways here. We don't need to sit here and stare. All right. So they have now come out on the Zarya again. I don't know why I thought that was new. It was not. That was a decent bubble. Good. Okay, I realized I'm shooting the wrong target. I was about to call that out, but I did figure it out. Okay, we get that a limb. Big. Right up here, I'm not sure why I'm hanging out on point. This is an area where I need to take that high ground from them. Without the perk that gives me extra jump height, I'm pretty certain with it I could actually just right-click jump up into that area. But without it, what I would have needed to do is try to maybe jump here, and then I'm up here, and then I'm here. And I'm able to do damage. I believe this Kiriko just TP'd, and now they've used cleanse, which means I target that Kiriko, I target the Mei, we have a couple of big staggers. Instead, I'm sitting AFK on point. So this is not good. This is fundamental things, right? Keep the momentum moving. Sojourn went up, fortunately, made up for my lack there and hit a couple of clean shots with rail. I'm now standing still. Not too sure why I'm doing that. Right now, I need to get off point. This is probably an issue that I would be willing to bet fundamentally has snuck its way back in. My teammates should not be the ones going in first. So my original suspicion was that I was playing too cautiously, not taking enough space, and I wasn't utilizing my bubbles well. All of those things are so far being confirmed. That is why I always tell you guys that I don't have a problem with checking stats. Stats are not the best indicator as to whether or not you were the problem in winning or losing a game. However, they can be a great indicator for your own mistakes when you go to do a VOD review. They are not useless, is the TLDR of all of that. Because what these stats revealed was the basic fundamental mistakes, these easy concepts that I need to adopt in order to really grow as a tank player. And I can guarantee you that it's not just my Zarya. If we were to look at my Zarya, Sigma, and Diva, my main 3 heroes in my hero pool, we would see a consistent theme of me utilizing my cooldowns too early and not taking enough space because I'm too afraid that I'm going to die for it. I have got to get out of that mindset. So far, that's what I'm noticing. Let's play this out. Bad bubble. It was a good idea, but it was way too early. Go in aggressive. Yep, this is good. That was a bad bubble. Good bubble. Okay, decent bubble. Very bad pathing, walking right down the middle there. This is what'll get me killed here. It was good on my Mercy to leave. I'm glad that she did, because there was no hope for me. I was dead. All right, as we get to the next fight here, I'm definitely going to continue looking. So far, my bubbles have been egregious, and my aggressive plays have been egregious as well. Now, this one, a bit of a Hail Mary, not the most calculated decision. So there was definitely a bad ultimate there as well. We play in the Juno ult here, still shooting the tank. So, wow, even more fundamental things. If I just turn and shoot the Kiriko, I'm getting better value than I am shooting this Reinhardt, who is now being double pocketed. Still shooting the Reinhardt. The Mercy's pretty much right on top of me right now. Okay, my bubbles are looking a little better, but still not great. And I use them early and I die for it. Okay. I am willing to bet the rest of this will go very similarly. I got rezzed. I forgot about that. I was about to skip to the next fight and then I realized I come right back. Okay, the fight hasn't really started yet. We're just going to get to the point where the fight starts. There we go. Fight should be starting right about here. This soldier was a problem. I needed to go up and take that high ground. I knew he had Shatter in my mind here, so I didn't want him to get to use it. And instead of... Yeah, oh man, my bubbles. Oh man, my bubbles. Not the worst bubble. A little early, if anything. Yeah, I'm healed back up. Go right back in. Yep. I mean, great play from him. I should have just let him get the 5k so he could have his clip for his buddies, but I didn't want him to. I realized that there is a soldier and a Mercy up here, and I go ahead and push for it. I need to go down to point at this point, I'm going to be honest. Where's my team at? I don't know, and that's something else I could work on. But, like, they're all kind of setting up over here. If I were to at least come down to here, and then maybe step over to... Actually, dropping it... Whoops. Whoa. Dropping in behind this, like, taxi over here right over here would have given me good positioning. I could have poked at the soldier a little bit with my right click. And I would have had some cover so that I could, you know, not take a whole bunch of poke damage. But taking this space may have actually given my team a little bit more boldness to kill the Reaper, who's currently leaving. He doesn't succeed in leaving, but it would have been easier for them to do. Well, now I realize we are very much up, so I just go for it. I almost said hard up and realized how the internet would take that. All right. We're on the Reinhardt here. This is not, again, wow. Okay, so good Lord, man. This is bad on my part, chat. I am literally shooting the tank all game. I'm using my bubbles in very poor ways and not getting a lot of charge for it. And on top of that, I'm not playing aggressively. Out of all these things, I would see that so far, we could make 2 observations. I would like to make just 2 simple ones. Focusing on aggressively pushing in when my health bar is up and backing out when it's not. Specifically about the point with Zarya, for instance, you know, with Diva, you'd have armor as an example, but like when you start reaching through your shields / armor, that's when you need to start kind of kiting back a bit. Unless you're being actively pocketed, then you can push forward a bit more depending on the situation. But generally speaking, if I can just adapt to the rule of, okay, I'm low, back up. Okay, I'm on my way back to full, we can push forward. Really focusing on this is a big deal. And I also think that my cooldown management is still a problem. I am using them too early. I am not waiting long enough. I'm not getting enough value from them because my team is usually like full HP. And if they get one shot, they get one shot. I need to get out of the mindset of, oh, I could have been goated. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, especially in plat, they aren't going to hit the shot. So just focusing on bubbling at the right times, using the right cooldowns, again, zooming out, looking at all tanks where things are applicable, using your cooldowns in the right time frame, and working on my target priority, I think would be a really big thing. I am mistaken over on Twitch said, I wondered if you noticed this. You complained about teammates only shooting tank, but here you were doing it too. Yes, exactly. No, 100%. It is an easy thing to do for anybody. And that is an area that if I'm going to be preaching this idea of don't shoot the tank, I need to probably not be shooting the tank either. If you want to see how much VOD reviews have helped me, why don't you check out this one right here, where it was a previous Zarya VOD review that you can see some differences in.